Hello traders, Gary Wagner here, just about 10:25 in Honolulu, 4:25 in New York. It is Monday, June 20th, 2016, and this is the daily report for gold and silver. Although well off the lows today, we do have gold closing lower, but only off about $2.20. Current print on the screen, $12.92 and change. It's traded to a low of approximately $12.80, and the high on the day has been $12.96. Silver, though, is trading higher on the day, as you can see, 1748.4, puts it up about 2 cents on the day. The high 63.60 and the low 29.50. So traders, there's absolutely no doubt with the referendum in Britain coming up this week. I believe it is Thursday, so Wednesday morning we will already have the results of that referendum. In terms of the most recent weekend polls, seems to allude to the fact that it is more likely that Britain will stay in the European Union than leave. Therefore, we saw a pretty strong relief rally in equities overseas. We saw weakness in the dollar. We also saw weakness in gold and strength in U.S. equities markets. First to gold, though. Gold, which was trading under pretty dramatic pressure, down at its lowest at about $12.80, although I recall a $12.79 print. Nonetheless, it's right in that area. We saw the market not only trade under pressure, as you can see by the virtue of this low that came in, but really trade back up through the range to really close in essence unchanged on the day. And you can see that by this really pure doji, the difference between our opening and closing price for the day. That comes after a pretty dynamic rally, of course, on Friday, which comes after a pretty dramatic sell-off in which the market in overseas trading came up, made these highs at 1320, and hit an intraday low of about 1280. So what can we glean from this information? Well, one, this market is without a question of a doubt being fundamentally driven, and it's being driven on a set of facts that no one's sure of the outcome. On a technical basis, we can say that gold has some really solid support at 1280, but I can tell you this: if the referendum comes back in which Britain is going to stay, you could easily see that mark taken out very, very quickly. On the other hand, if the vote comes for an exit, which seems unlikely and in my opinion seems fairly unwise, you could see this market genuinely take off and move well past these highs at 1320. So that being said, we certainly want to pay close attention to what's going on, but more importantly, you as an individual trader make the decision, if you are long gold, whether or not you want to stay in through that vote, or that referendum vote, I should say. Because depending on the outcome, I can tell you this: we will see, I believe, a pretty volatile move one way or the other. And because no one really has concrete knowledge of how that referendum vote will unfold, it's almost a guess in a way as to what the market's going to do. That being said, we're probably going to look to either tighten stops or basically pull profits on our current position. We are long at 1245, stops at 1275, current market 1293. So traders, as I alluded to on Friday, there's absolutely something going on in the silver pits, and I'm not quite convinced I know what that is. Silver up about 2 cents today, trading under 1750, and in terms of different resistance levels that I'm looking at, of course 1760, which is a fib-based number, and then 1780, and then of course 1800, which is this series of tops, or the record high that was achieved in silver this year, although it wasn't achieved last week like we saw a record yearly high in gold achieved, but rather at the end of April. This has been Gary Wagner, wishing you as always good trading. We'll talk to you tomorrow for another daily update and review. Bye-bye.